Hey loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Tyla and today's episode 19 of the Journal Session series. This is an interactive series where we journal together and I offer you time and space to write out your answers as well as share mine. So today's prompts are all about healing, so if you're interested, grab your pen and your journal and let's get to it. So for question number 1, what habit can you incorporate into your daily life that would make you happier? So when it comes to our daily habits, that plays a big role in how we are mentally as well as physically and emotionally and spiritually even. So when you get so used to being comfortable in a certain routine, especially when that routine supports just your comfort and not your growth, you usually tend to start feeling a lack of fulfillment. You may feel a lack of happiness, peace. So it's really important to analyze what habits you have on the day-to-day and switching those habits out for ones that are more productive and conducive to your happiness. So for me personally, I create routines within my day-to-day. So I have a morning routine and a night routine. And then I also do schedule out my days. So I create a to-do list and just different tasks that I can accomplish throughout the day. So I really do highly recommend creating tasks for yourself every day because it really helps you to feel a sense of accomplishment. And the tasks don't even necessarily have to be something grand. It can be something as simple as you getting something done that you've been putting off for a couple days, or just something that can help you to get further in what you're doing. And once you do this and you start to accomplish and get done all your tasks, you see that each day you are knocking off everything on your list, you will feel a huge sense of accomplishment and achievement, and it's going to make you feel so good. And another thing too is when it comes to my routine, so for example, my morning routine, I like to incorporate things that are healthy for me. So something that helps me mentally, which is for me journaling and writing. Something that helps me spiritually, which for me is meditation and prayer. Something that is beneficial to me physically, so moving my body, working out, doing yoga. I do something that kind of targets each area and aspect of my life and the things that I want to improve. And this overall helps me to feel a lot happier, a lot more peaceful. So I definitely do feel a lot happier and a lot better when I incorporate these healthy habits into my day-to-day routine. So question number 2, what is one thing you can do to work towards your inner healing? So I'm going to give you guys a little backstory into how I started my healing journey. I was going through a lot a couple years back. I was really depressed. I did not want to be here and exist anymore. And I was in, some really bad connections that were really toxic for me. It was just a lot going on. And I got to the point where I just felt like there was no hope. And I did not know what to do, to be completely honest. I felt lost. I just was at the bottom of the bottom. And what really helped me to start my inner healing was to start pointing out and analyzing all the things that were bringing me that turmoil and that destruction within my life. I literally would write lists. I would write down all the things that were affecting me emotionally and spiritually. And I went one by one and I started writing about those things. And I found journal prompts online, which is how this series came about. And I started being my own therapist. Because in all honesty, therapy, it costs a lot. And I did do therapy and I do highly recommend if you can afford it. But you can heal on your own. And even though it may be hard, especially when you are in that really dark place, it's very much possible to come out of it. And for me, that honestly saved me. Not the therapy, but just doing the self-healing, the self-work, being my own therapist, asking myself those important questions, writing about all the things that were bothering me and bringing me a lot of pain. And as I would write about those things, I would allow myself to feel the emotions. I would allow myself to release all the emotions from each situation. I would ask myself questions about my childhood. I did inner child healing, to heal certain things that I experienced in my childhood, because our childhood trauma is a big part of who we are today. So it's really important to make sure that you do that first before anything. And I highly recommend that. So you can find prompts online. I think I have a session on childhood trauma healing. If so, I will link it. But yeah, that is the most important. So make sure that you heal from all of the things that you experienced in your childhood, even if you didn't have like a super crazy negative childhood. We all had certain things that we experienced and that shaped us into who we are. Certain things that we may not be proud of, or certain things that just may hold us back from really becoming who we want to be. So it's really important to look at those things. And I know a lot of the time as well, for those who did experience really traumatic childhoods, it may be hard to go back and revisit those memories. I know how hard that is, trust me, but that is the most important part of healing when it comes to anything, not just childhood trauma, but just trauma in general. You do have to go back and relive those moments to work through them. And it's going to be painful and it's going to be hard, but trust me, once you do it, it's so rewarding and you're going to feel free, literally, from everything that you've ever experienced. You're not going to feel those heavy burdens. You're not going to feel weighed down. You're going to feel like a brand new person. And that's literally how I felt after doing all of my inner healing and facing those really dark things that I was scared to face. So for me, the answer to this question was journaling and self-reflection. So question number 3, what is one thing that you can do to promote your personal growth? So something that I did that I want to put you guys on to is writing a list of your future self and the person that you want to become. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down all the characteristics of the person that you want to be in the future. Think about your ultimate highest version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Think about everything that they do. Think about their hobbies. Think about the types of foods that they eat. Think about where they live, how they dress, how they talk, how they walk, what kind of work they do for a living, what do they drive. And you're going to write those all down and you're going to start embodying each and every characteristic and trait. Now, some things on the list, obviously, you're not going to be able to do yet. So depending on where you might want to live or just what you might want to do for work, certain things are going to take time. But when it comes to the habits of that person, think about the habits that your best version of yourself would probably do. So they would probably work out and go to the gym consistently. They would probably eat healthier foods. They would probably have a lot of self-care and maintenance that they do. They would probably be a lot more professional, on point with their timing and scheduling, and be consistent in everything that they do. So once you figure out all of those characteristics, you're going to start doing each one that you can in this present moment and start embodying that person. This really helped me with my personal growth, and it helped me to start becoming and embodying the woman that I want to be. And doing this actually helped me to change a lot about myself. I used to be a lot more lazy. I used to be not as disciplined. I was a little bit immature. I was just all over the place, to be honest. But ever since I started embodying the person that I want to become and start putting certain habits into play, my whole routine switched. I stepped into a new reality for myself. I started feeling better, looking better, doing better, and just really starting to feel like I'm making progress towards who I want to be. Although I'm not where I want to be yet, and although it is going to take time to accomplish certain things, it's really important and crucial to start putting those habits into play now and continuously working towards those things. I always say that if you're continuously doing something and you just keep moving forward and you're making progress, you're going to get to that finish line eventually. It's only when you stop and you just give completely up that you're not going to make it to that finish line. But it doesn't matter how long it's going to take. Everything happens in divine timing. So make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself to accomplish certain things and to be in a certain place. And just know that you're making the constant steps every day to get there. So question number 4, what is one thing you can do to increase your self-confidence? I noticed firsthand how important confidence is when I started switching my self-concept, and I saw how much that changed my drive and the opportunities that I took on. When you're insecure and you're just not as confident as you can be, you're not going to apply yourself fully because you're not going to feel good. You're not going to think that you're capable of taking on certain tasks and accomplishing certain goals. And you're going to fall short of everything it is that you want and that you want to do. Now, I guarantee you, whatever it is that you may be insecure about or not feel the best about, it's either 1, changeable, or 2, something that other people may not even notice about you. So when it comes to us and ourselves, we really are our own biggest critics. So it's really important that you're not just analyzing the negative traits about yourself, and that you're actually paying more attention and putting more energy and focus into the things that are great about yourself. Now, this is one thing that I noticed really helps to boost your confidence, and this is something that I read a lot in a lot of books. Focus on your strengths, your talents, and the things that you do like about yourself, and strengthen those things and build on those things. This is going to help you to not only love yourself more, but it's going to help you to start building on your talents and the things that make you amazing. Now, another thing that may be a little harsh is that if there is something that you do not like about yourself that is changeable, just change it because in all honesty, there's no sense in complaining about something and not doing anything about it. Like for me, for example, I'm very slim and, I want to put on a little weight. I want to gain a little muscle, be toned. And that's something that I've wanted for years. And I was just too lazy to put in the work and too lazy to actually take the steps necessary to do it. Now this year, well, really starting last year, I finally started working out, taking my protein, getting consistent, and I finally started gaining some weight and I felt comfortable in my body. And it wasn't even that I wanted to do it for the outside world, just so that I can feel comfortable within myself, because I genuinely would not eat. Like I don't eat, and not only that, but I was going through a lot, so I wasn't eating at the time. And it made me feel very insecure, and it just kept reminding me of everything that I was going through. And I finally just said, you know what, I'm not going to keep complaining about this. There's no sense in complaining and not doing anything about it. So if there is something that you do not like about yourself, just do something about it, because complaining is not going to do anything, and you're going to feel 1,000 times better once you actually start taking the steps to changing those things. Now for me, I did a whole 360 when it came to like my skincare and my routine and my beauty care. I started finally taking care of my skin. I found skincare products that work for me. I started exfoliating my body, making sure that my skin is always nice and smooth and moisturized and soft. I started learning how to do my own hair at home. I started learning how to do my nails, my lashes, and I started doing all these things because I really wanted to pour more into my appearance. I was trying to level up in every sense so that I can be more confident. I leveled up spiritually, mentally, physically, in every way that I could. And as well too, I really like doing these things because it gives me some time in the day to just be with myself, spend time with myself, pour into myself, love on myself. And it's just really nice. It makes me feel really good. So question number 5, what different choices can you make moving forward when choosing your relationships? Now, something that you may or may not know is that depending on the type of people that you hang around and the type of relationships that you get into, that can show you a lot about the type of trauma that you may have. So it's really important to analyze the type of people that you tend to not only attract, but that you tend to be drawn to, and to really focus on who you have in your inner circle. So if you have unhealthy connections in your life, whether it's a friendship, whether it's family, whether it's a relationship, start asking yourself, what is it about that relationship that may be keeping you stuck or bound, and what it is that you have to heal within yourself. Start paying more attention to people's energy when you meet them, as well as their actions, and making sure that you are setting healthy boundaries and standards for yourself. Who you're around definitely has a big impact on how you are mentally and emotionally, and having people around you that are not the best for you is going to affect you really bad long term, especially if they're toxic. So make sure that you're paying attention to those patterns. When you start seeing somebody's behavior and you're peeping those red flags, make sure that you are being very aware, so that as you meet more people and you start meeting new people, you can pick up on those things. Me personally, I'm an observer, and I love to observe people. I watch people, I study people, and I'm really into psychology. So when it comes to meeting new people, I really do analyze their behavior. I analyze the things that they say and the way that they move, their body language. You have to really pay attention to all these things. And as well as reading a person's energy and analyzing how you feel around somebody, that is very important. If you tend to feel very anxious around somebody and uneasy, and you get that butterfly feeling, that's not always a good thing, to be honest. That can be your body warning you that somebody may not have the best intentions for you and not be the best for you, as opposed to if you feel at peace and at ease around somebody, you feel free, you feel like you can just be yourself. Those are the people that you want to make sure that you stick around. And one thing that I really want to touch on and say is that if you are in a toxic relationship or friendship or family situation or whatever the case may be, please get out of it as soon as you can, because that is really going to affect your mental health, and your mental health will deteriorate. And the negative effects that these toxic connections have on your mental health are very, very damaging. And sometimes it takes months, years to undo psychological damage. When it comes to your psyche, you want to be very protective of that, because once you lose your mind, you lose everything, and you do not want to not be sane. It's the worst feeling in the world, I promise, and it does not feel good. Not only that, but it's going to distract you from the things that are really important, like fulfilling your life's purpose and really cultivating the happiness and peace that you actually desire. So make sure that you are choosing your relationships and your friendships very, very wisely, and especially if you know that you have a pattern or history with choosing ones that aren't as healthy for you. Now guys, I'm gonna pop up a couple of questions, journal prompts that I really want you guys to do, and I'm gonna pop these up here. And I didn't do these ones with you guys because these are a bit more personal. So yeah, these are the ones that are really gonna help you dig deep and heal certain aspects, and the ones that you really should do and take the time to write out an answer. So that is it, but I hope that you guys enjoyed. I love you guys so much, and I wish you guys all the best on your healing journey. I'm sending you guys all lots of love and light. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. I post these every Friday or Saturday, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace out and much love. If you become a shot, not be head of state. But my people then go say I know one time.